public relations is the most powerful branding tool. I don't know if you've ever heard this, but Bill Gates said that if I was down to my last dollar, I'd spend it on PR. Now, we don't have to worry about Bill Gates getting down to his last dollar, but that's really a testament to the power of PR to build brands.
Welcome to the Real Estate Executive Thought Leadership Podcast, a commercial real estate industry show featuring insights from executive thought leaders.
In this episode of RE EXEC TL, we'll chat with Stacey Cohen. She's the CEO and founder of Co-Communications, a New York-based PR firm. In our conversation, we'll uncover why PR is the most powerful branding tool for CRE firms, how strategic partnerships between competitors or co-opetition creates value for everyone, and why personal branding and digital citizenship are crucial for young adults as they enter the professional environment. We'll also get into why we can't let Google shape our brands, the value of an integrative approach, the benefits of newswire distribution, and how to create compelling pitches that get the attention of journalists. Let's get started. Hi, Stacey. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Kirky. Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about your professional background. Please tell us about your background in marketing, PR, and real estate.
Absolutely. I started my career at some major corporations, CBS, and also a big ad agency. Then I started my business, Co-Communications, in 1997. And real estate has always been in my DNA. My mom was a real estate broker. And actually, while I worked at CBS, I never got to see her. So I ended up getting my real estate sales license and working with her on the weekends. And my husband is a real estate attorney. A lot of our clients are in the real estate industry.
Share a little bit about your education.
Sure. Undergraduate degree, Syracuse University. When I was working at CBS, I got my MBA in marketing during the evenings. Then most recently, about 2 years ago, I went through a year-long certification program at NYU Stern School of Business and Media, Technology, and Entertainment.
What motivated you to start your marketing firm?
In the mid to late 90s, I wanted to start a family and I opted out of corporate. The travel was intense, 50% of the time. So I started taking on freelance work. And one of the agencies I worked with, he gave me a biotech annual report. So this company was just going public. And I said to him, I really need to speak with this company and get their essence. And he's, no, we never let our independent contractors speak directly to our client. And I had my aha moment. I need to work directly with the client, started Co-Communications. And, a lot of people will say, you name the company after your last name, but not true. Co is the Latin derivative of with. So we're all about collaboration.
Let's talk about professional direction. What does success look like for you in 5 years? I know you're already successful. What does 5 years from now look like?
5 years success look like for me? 5 years success. I want to get more into personal branding and thought leadership. I'm a big idea person. I feel that we all wake up with a clean slate in the morning, and it's up to us to own the day. We have to manifest opportunities. I look forward to doing a lot of innovative work and changing it up. There's no doubt that change is the constant. If you keep doing the same thing, you're going to get stuck in reverse. So always just looking for ways to break the barrier.
What professional development tools and resources are you engaging with, like books, programs, anything like that?
A lot of books. My bookshelves are filled with everything and anything marketing. But I don't know if you've heard of Vistage. Vistage is a CEO group, and it's really cool because having your own personal advisory council, they help you identify blind spots, share and vet different ideas. That's been very powerful. And I have to tell you, besides all the resources that's out there, I'm always learning from my staff. They will always be smarter and better than me in anything and everything technology.
Marketing, real estate, it's stressful business. How do you decompress from the daily grind?
It is definitely a very stressful business. The working from home model with my husband, he does residential real estate in Manhattan, is very stressful. What I'm doing now is different than what I did previously. But even when we were on lockdown, a lot of family time with friends, did some Zoom happy hours, meditation. I'm very into fitness. I still get out there and run. And I'm a big film buff.
Let's talk about your company. What does Co-Communications offer and who do you serve?
Co-Communications offers a full array of marketing PR services. That means we start with the discovery, strategic documentation, corporate brand identity, which can involve a logo, website. Then it's all about execution. Phase 3 is typically public relations, social media, content development. All of our resources are in between with the exception of search engine marketing and videography, but we have have great partners that do that. In terms of our target audience, it's very diverse, but obviously real estate, education, healthcare, nonprofit, professional services, hospitality, and economic development.
Is public relations a vital strategy for commercial real estate firms?
Absolutely. Public relations is the most powerful branding tool. I don't know if you've ever heard this, but Bill Gates said that if I was down to my last dollar, I'd spend it on PR. Now, we don't have to worry about Bill Gates getting down to his last dollar, but that's really a testament to the power of PR to build brands. Why is someone going to buy a product or a service? Why is someone going to do business with a particular commercial real estate entity? It's about trust. It's about credibility. And there's nothing like PR that helps build that. PR is great for boosting search rankings. And the interesting thing about PR, though, is a lot of people will automatically think it's just media relations when it's so much more. It's not about just getting that article in the Wall Street Journal. It's how do you get closer to your target audience? There's a lot of different methods other than media relations because it can also be public speaking. Content development is really important, blogging. Really, the bottom line is how do you stand out from the others?
What trends and challenges do you see in the industry and how are you adapting?
Oh my goodness, there is a lot of things going on now. The pandemic has created so many changes in consumer behavior, and anyone that is marketing has to really address these changing needs and adapt their strategies accordingly. It really requires us to be nimble, almost real-time marketing. One thing that I see is there's a lot more collaboration, strategic partnerships, co-opetition. It's starting to gain momentum in 2021. We're going to see more competitors combine resources, and it could be anything to amplify their brand.
That's one of the reasons why I want to have you on the show. You could say we're competitors, but I think there's some synergy.
Oh, there's always synergy, Kirky. There's always synergy. You can always find ways to work together.
Let's talk about leadership. How would you describe your leadership style and how do you motivate your team?
So my leadership style is definitely collaborative and empowering. So I encourage my staff. I want them to have a can-do attitude. And actually, I have to say, I have two young girls and I encourage them to do the same. So I'll say, if you can't go in the front door, go in the back door. If you can't do that, go through the chimney. I want them to be problem solvers, not problem spotters. There's two words they know they can't say to me is I can't. Don't say I can't, because I really believe that you can find a way. So it's really important for my staff and just people in general to continue challenging themselves. Take risks, get out of your comfort zone. These are critical learning moments. I also believe in having a culture of accountability. You've got to own it.
Let's get into marketing and thought leadership. You're an advocate of personal branding and digital citizenship. Why is it important at the various stages in the professional growth cycle, even for the college bound?
As we know, personal branding is not about me. It's what is your value to others. It's not about blending in. So the bottom line is, how do you stand out? We all have a digital footprint that shows up when you do a Google search, and we can't let Google shape our personal brand. Again, we've got to own it. We've got to put our best digital footprint forward. I believe it's best to start in high school. This will translate first into college success and then career success. Everything that teens post online has an impact, and it's going to impact the college admission process. In fact, this is a crazy number. 75% of admissions officers are looking at college-bound students' applications and social media. It's not just about the application. The other thing is that digital savvy is a critical skill. A lot of us think it's innate, but it's not. It's learned. I really believe that digital leadership, personal branding should be in all high school curriculum nationwide.
Can you tell us about the 3 buckets?
Oh, you like my 3 buckets? Sure. So there are 3 buckets in communication. One is the strategy bucket. You've got to look at internal, external factors. The second bucket is creativity. Our job is, how do we help our clients stand out from the clutter? It is an incredibly cluttered environment. The third bucket is implementation, execution. And you've got to do that with precision, because you can have a great idea, but it's just going to fail unless there's really that precise execution.
What do you find works? I know you're an advocate of PR, of course, but what really works?
An integrated approach. It's not just PR. You discover this in the discovery process in terms of of there's so many factors. What are your objectives, both short-term and long-term? Who is your target audience? Typically, a business, whether it be a commercial real estate firm or a biotech company, has different target audiences. And the key messages that you develop for each, there may be some similar, but there'll be some different. What you're trying to do is boil it down to what we call the unique value proposition. And once you figure out what your competitive advantage is, only then do you figure out the tactics. But I can tell you that PR is one of the tools in your toolkit, but you need many. I think you need this overarching content management strategy. You want to look at your content. You want diversification in content. Because what happens is a lot of commercial real estate firms will just send out news items on just transactional in nature, that they just added a new property in their portfolio or they just won an award. Instead, they need to pivot to develop content that is greater thought leadership, and it could also include public speaking, goodwill opportunities, and again, bringing back that thought leadership trends. We've been doing a lot of webinars for our real estate clients, and the attendance has been incredible. And a big part of that is because we're looking ahead.
What are some things that you would say that really capture journalists' attention, really intrigues them in a press release or other information you might share?
We look at everything with a news value from 0 to 10. Think about the word news. It has to be something new. Journalists don't really care about an award. They don't really care how long you've been in business. A business that is celebrating, let's say, a 25th anniversary milestone, they may be very proud of it and send out a news release. At the end of the day, it's going to get this much play. So I think you have to look at everything that you do and get it to a 10. It could be, and I'm just like making up an idea, a commercial real estate firm that really wants to show their thought leadership. Maybe what they do is create an academy rather than just shooting at one webinar here, one webinar there. They're creating an academy that a series of webinars lives under. That is news. And that is something you're also branding it, right? Because you're going to come up with a name of the academy. A lot of times companies, if they do have an academy, they'll also use their name. Let's just say you have a company called CRE Enterprises. You decide to come up with an academy for training. That becomes CRE Academy. Our credo is you have to start with clarity. So our tagline is make yourself perfectly clear, and we walk the talk. It's really important. We use this thinking to strengthen our client brands, ramp up their marketing, grow their share of voice. It's quite easy just to jump into the tactics, but I really believe that you've got to start with the foundation and really do an audit of what's working now. This is a great time to get into the discovery of your business and figure out who you are now, because who the company is now is probably very different than 2019.
What are your thoughts on newswire distribution?
I love it. When it first came out, it was so incredibly powerful. And in the early days, we were able to own the first couple of pages of Google, especially when we launch a new brand, a product or service, and we send it out through the newswires. It has many benefits. It, of course, search, boost rankings. It can push down negative results. But again, it's like everything else. You can't just rely on that. There's nothing that will ever take the place of pitching a story idea to a journalist. When you go to that high level media, they don't want a news release. So you really have to get inside their mindset and pitch to them. It goes back to the idea of what will be of value to them, and just make sure that you deliver it. It's about storytelling, right? It's about interest of the journalist. You have to know what will interest not just him, but his viewers or readers. You have to spend time in the forefront packaging. You can't just throw it out there. We did get an incredible result for nonprofit clients, Guiding Eyes for the Blind. We put out a release, a newswire release. Eli Manning was heading their event, and it was crazy because the VP of marketing called and said that they wanted a $50,000 sponsorship. They were going to contribute that to the event. They also donated foods for many years.
I was going to ask if you could share a successful whole story about a marketing campaign, so that definitely fits.
Yes, and if I may just share another quick one, we handled the 18-month communication campaign for rebuilding the Tappan Zee Bridge, which is the largest public work project in New York State history. That was really interesting. First of all, have been in so many areas of real estate, but never thought I would learn so much about building bridges. The other thing is when you talk about an integrated marketing program, it involved everything: social, PR, branding. We named the program Build the Bridge Now, New York, to create some urgency. We had press conferences. There was community relations, getting the head of the Construction Industry Council out there speaking. And I'm happy to say that the new gorgeous Mario Cuomo Bridge has been built. That's a success.
That's a success, yes. So let me ask you, what is the most crucial element in positioning your brand?
Unique value proposition. Why should someone choose you? Now, you can't get at that just like that. You really need to go through your brand. How do you define your brand? Look at the competitors and figure out how are you different than them. Then can you really put your stake in the ground? It's all about your superpower, your competitive advantage.
Where do you envision the Co-Communications brand going in the 2020s?
And we're going to give our clients more clarity. We want to be innovative, manifest opportunities for the company and our clients.
Now we come to the conclusion. You have a new book coming out. Can you tell us a little bit about it and how people can find it?
It's going to be on Amazon. It's interesting because I found the high school audience. It's a real niche, building a digital brand starting early in high school. I have a website, StaceyCohen.com, and definitely will be available. The one thing that's really important is that high school audience just understand the implications of their actions. I think every 16-year-old should have a LinkedIn.
Now we come to the final question. What is one closing insight you'd like to share for executives targeting growth?
I would like to close with my favorite quote by Wayne Gretzky. You got to skate to where the puck is going, not to where it's been. The need to be one step ahead in business has never been more important. We all have to remember failure is part of success, but you've got to embrace it. You have to look ahead, not back. If you're continually looking in the rearview mirror, you're soon going to be obsolete. So those are my words of wisdom for the day.
Thank you for joining us today, Stacey, and we do appreciate your insights.
Thank you, Kirky. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to RE Exec TL. Please like and subscribe for updates on upcoming episodes. Share the inspiration.